Oh, that's everything. Oh.
What are you doing? Come and have a look at this rain. Look, the state of it. That's what we're dealing with today. This lesson is all about how the key to great photography is connection and thinking about the elements within the frame, particularly with regards to portraits. So in this workshop, we're going to be taking a budget flash unit that you can pick up for much less than £100 online secondhand and taking an ordinary image like this with it and showcasing how you can make extraordinary portraits like this with just a few simple steps, all while a thunderstorm rages above us. Let's go to the video. How do we take this 20-year-old lighting setup worth less than £100 and create dynamic monochromatic images with impact? Let's find out. Say hi to Amy, everyone. She's back. Look, she's in studio, and this time she's got a black veil on her head.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, because we are the bride of something or other. Queen Victoria was the monarch on the throne who made the white wedding dress a thing.
Yeah.
She wore it once for her wedding to Prince Albert, famous for that and one other thing. And he and she started the trend for everyone from that point forward wearing white wedding dresses. Of course, when he died, she wore nothing but black. She was in mourning for the rest of her life. But we've been to visit the place. This is not what people tuned in for. We've been to visit her holiday home on the Isle of Wight. Nice holiday home if you can get it. Yeah. Nice palace. Holiday palace rather than holiday home, I would say, Vic. Anyway, so what we've got here is an Elinchron D-Light RX4. It is my second ever flashlight that I owned. I took it as part payment for a job back in around about 2008, something like that. It still works, still pat tested, and it's tethered to the wall. It's unlike all of the modern Elinchron lights that I use now, which are seaport chargeable and battery led, and they don't hang on to the wall. This one hangs on to the plug socket in the wall, which is fine. It means it's still relatively powerful. And look how reliable it is. It still works. It still beeps. I'm going to turn the beep off because that's going to be annoying throughout the whole shoot. What I've done is I've attached it to the standard Kick softbox that you get with most of these units. This is a standard square softbox, and as I've said before on this channel, if you're smart enough online, you can probably find these for definitely under £50. You definitely found the lights for under £50 as well. Combine them together, you should have a full working lighting setup for well under £100. I'll have a look online now to see if I can find it for you, and I'll put a screenshot of it somewhere around about here, somewhere on this screen now. This lesson is all about how the key to great photography is connection and thinking about the elements within the frame, particularly with regards to portraits. We could take all 7, 8, 9 lights that we have in the studio and show you a 7, 8, 9 light setup. But I know for a fact that over my 25-year career, some of my most powerful portraits have been taken with a single light source. And actually, when I'm working at events and on location, I often don't get a lot of space, particularly in London, where I work next to sort of fire escapes and around the back of the stage. There isn't a lot of space there. There isn't the space for you to set up all of your lights. So it's good to get to grips with just one light. The other benefit of just working with one light is that there's only one thing that can go wrong. So if the portrait you're taking isn't working for you on a lighting perspective, then you know there's only one thing that you need to fix, and that gives you lots of less things to worry about, if that makes sense. With this light here, we've just placed it up on a stand, and we're not going to worry about it for a second. We're going to worry instead about Amy. I say worry, we're not going to worry about you.
You probably should.
Probably should worry about Amy. Bring in nice and close here. Now, what have we got here with Amy? What we've got here with Amy is we've got a really, really well-designed cosplay / wrestler / brand look to her. Everything that she's done in this outfit has been thought about in terms of the color and in terms of the contrast and in terms of the way that it looks. Very simply, blacks and reds. Now, in monochromatic portraiture, the reds aren't going to come out as reds, obviously, but what it means is that it all ends in to the same tonality throughout the shot. What I really like about it is we've got slightly different textures. We've got some sequins up on the top. We've got some lace around the veil. We've got the fishnets around the, what do you call them?
Forearms?
Forearm glove things. full arm glove things. Yeah, just sleeves. And then we've got everything down here. Now, in terms of the portrait here, although she's very kindly come dressed in with the kick pads and with everything there, I'm going to keep everything fairly simple and just do a half length or headshot portrait, somewhere between just a headshot or just the half length here, which means that that veil is going to form quite a big part of everything that we're going to capture here. So I'm going to take my first shot here just to test the light and see how it's all looking. We're working with a very simple white backdrop today. We're going to move the light in here 45 degrees up, 45 degrees round and 45 degrees down. I can just do that just by twisting the little lever on there, and we can see that if we were to draw a line from the back of the light all the way through the logos, all the way down through to Amy, it would hit just above where her eyes are there. The veil is up and we're creating quite a high contrast portrait here, particularly with the white skin. So we've got really, really good tonality throughout the picture. Looking straight towards me here, ISO 100, 160th of a second, F11 today, just for giggles, because I like to tear it up. Looking straight down towards me, and in 3, 2, 1, go. First picture's coming through there. Oh, it's one of the best ones we've taken of the day. Nice and simple. We can retire now. That's the end of the shoot. Congratulations, well done. But by bringing all those elements together, we end up with a very simple portrait on a sort of grey background. Now, the grey background is happening because we haven't got room for a second light to give us a background light, and we're not too close to that background to sort of make it that bright white. There's a certain element of fall off there that's happening, which is ensuring that our background is grey. And I don't really want to work on a grey background, and I don't want to really work on a white background. I want to work, because it's quite a dark character, and because there's darker elements to this outfit, I want to work on a low key portrait. And low key means that the majority of the tones in that portrait fall at mid grey or darker. That's what we're looking at there, which means there's higher contrast between those darker elements and the brighter elements within the picture. So to do this, I'm going to move in my blackboards behind. Now, if you have got loads of money or you've been groomed on a Sue Bryce workshop, you'll probably want to go buy some V-flats for that, and you can do that. If you've got loads of space, you might want to get yourself a backdrop with a black vinyl backdrop, or if you're someone like me who started their professional photography career working out of their loft conversion in their home, you can invest in some Velcro pads and just a piece of black cloth and just stick it to the wall, because that's how I started. This is Zoe. She sometimes wrestles, often goes down the gym, and she's a part-time model. Check her out. What we're going to do now is we're going to use this one light. Check it out. Look, it's an Elinchrom D light with a normal kit softbox. In this instance, I'm just going to use my flag reflectors that I use on my polyboards either side, and I'm just going to use them as my backdrop here. By bringing Amy off the backdrop here to around about here, we eliminate even more of the fall off from our key light, so that backdrop should go even darker. I'm going to move the light here so it's in the same position as it was before. We've just moved everything on the set just this way, just a little bit. Similar pose again there for me, and we're just going to see how this one looks with this new setup. 3, 2, 1, go. And all of a sudden, we have a lower key portrait there. And we can see that I'm just going to pick up my coffee halfway through the shoot. It's quite relaxed, this one today. We're getting towards a lower key portrait there. It's not quite as dark as I would want it. That shoulder there is just a little bit bright, because the shoulder on this side is the one nearest the light here. So the light's hitting it first. One way I can amend that. Didn't even take a sip of the coffee. Did you see that? I just picked up the coffee magnanimously as if I'd completed photography. And I didn't even celebrate with a sip of the coffee. Cut. This is knotted. It's all right to give me some back chat through these as well, you know that, don't you? Okay, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to experiment by moving this light round here to the other side as thunder emanates from the sky above us. We're doing this in the middle of a rainstorm. Luckily, we're not outside, we're inside. One of the benefits of having a studio, actually. So we're just moving it to the other side just to see if that affects the portrait here. Exactly the same pose there. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. See if there's any difference there. We're starting to shape light across the face, but we've still got a relatively bright shoulder on that side. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of that. So with that bright shoulder, what we're going to do is we're going to change the pose in this instance. So we're going to pose you the other way there for me, that way, so that now the shoulder on this side, if we turn even more this way, towards this way, now that shoulder is on the far side away from the light. And we're going to give ourselves just a nice pose there, something just really, really simple there for me, and then open the shoulders up this way just a little bit towards me here. Turn the head towards the light there for me, just like that. Let's have a look at you here. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And there we go. We've just eliminated that big patch of brightness on the shoulder there just by changing the pose slightly. But I really, really want to dull this down even further. And I'm going to do that in a couple of ways here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take half a stop of power off my light. I'm just going to do it manually by changing the light itself. I'm going to keep the light in the same position, and we're just going to see how much that half a power of stop has affected the portrait here. 3, 2, 1, go. Cool, so we've got a slightly darker portrait there. What I want to try and do is I want to try and shape the light a little bit more keenly around the face, and I'm going to try and go in a little bit closer. By coming in closer to Amy, I've got two choices on how I get closer to Amy. I'm currently on a 70mm focal length. It will go up to 105, this lens. It will go a little bit closer, so I can continue to shoot from here and just shoot in there nice and close. That's a crazy amount of lightning.
That's nuts. That is nuts.
It's a crazy amount of thunder today.
Just same time.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's ominous. We've never met Amy before. She's come dressed as this with these contact lenses, and all of a sudden all hell is, yeah. This is a record. This is like the Blair Witch Project. We're set in a photography studio. Okay, you couldn't do the Blair Witch Project in the UK because sooner or later you come across a Tesco Express. And, this way. So it's just behind Amy here. And Amy's now going to turn her head so she's looking towards me here. That's the end for part 1. Next week we'll drop part 2 where we showcase how we utilise that one light to create even more dynamic portraits and how we get close to our subject, filling the frame with the important elements and where we place them within that frame in terms of composition. So join us next week for that video. If you've enjoyed this video, you can visit nofussmust.com, download our free posing guide, tell your photography friends about it, check out all the other videos in the channel, and we'll see you next week. All the very best.